This horizontal Cotton Valley report is presented as a factual overview of the recent horizontal drilling and completion activity in the East Texas Cotton Valley Sandstone Trend. The material presented herein is the property of Petromax Operating Company, Incorporated, and should not be reproduced or shared in any manner without the expressed written consent of Petromax. This frac simulation video will illustrate visually what computer frac modeling indicates happens in a sandstone reservoir during and at the conclusion of a typical hybrid slick water frac. The blue fluid represents the frac pre-pad and slick water portion of the treatment. This stage initiates fracture patterns and creates fracture length. The brown fluid represents the sand-laden stage, which is pumped periodically during the middle stages of the job, and is at its highest concentrations at the end of the job to act as a proppant, thus creating greater reservoir conductivity, resulting in substantially higher production rates. With the recent use and understanding of microseismic technology, it is believed that one single vertical Cotton Valley sandstone well has an effective drainage area of approximately 500 feet. Current Texas Railroad Commission rules require 1,200-foot spacing between most Cotton Valley wells. This spacing pattern is leaving large quantities of natural gas unproduced. It has been assumed by operators that the Texas Railroad Commission will eventually lessen the rules to allow downspacing, and additional infield vertical wells would then be drilled to drain the remaining gas. The mechanical technology to drill horizontally has existed for decades. Understanding the parameters under which it was best suited, and more importantly, how to complete and stimulate a horizontal well bore has taken longer. Until very recently, most horizontal drain holes were fracked as if they were vertical wells, by simply pumping a single stage that was pumped into the horizontal drain hole, with no ability to segment or divert the frac job to stimulate the entire exposed zone. However, with the recent development and successful implementation of the open-hole Packer Plus system, the industry is able to accomplish just that. Staged frac jobs designed to be pumped sequentially can now treat the entire drain hole and effectively produce gas from an area that would have historically required numerous vertical wells to produce the equivalent amount of gas. The Packer Plus system utilizes a system of open-hole packers and pressure-activated ports to selectively isolate the treatment area. Each packer contains an increasingly smaller orifice, which allows a sealer ball to be dropped from the surface to temporarily bridge off one completed frac job and allow for the immediate subsequent job to be performed in an order from toe to heel. After the last frac job is completed, the well is opened and the sealer balls are flowed back to a ball catcher located on the surface, thereby commingling all of the separately fracked zones. This slide is a closer look at the Packers Plus tool turned vertically for ease of viewing. The distance between packers can be customized to affect the optimum drainage coverage. The example shown was designed for a Freestone County Cotton Valley well, with 342 feet between the isolation packers. This slide illustrates the vertical drilling activity in 2002 in the Barnett Shale Play in north-central Texas. Each blue dot represents one vertical drilling permit. There were 1,075 filed in 2002. Each red dot represents a horizontal drilling permit. There were 9 filed in 2002. In December 2002, this geographic area was considered to be the economic limit of the Barnett Shale Play. However, a few operators were willing to experiment with horizontal drilling in order to see if this technology could be used to enhance the economics outside this core area. This is what the play looks like today: 450 vertical permits and 2,380 horizontal permits. The original core area is highlighted in blue, and the field has conservatively quadrupled in size and continues to grow. This technology is also being utilized in oil reservoirs. The Curtin field had produced over 35 million barrels of oil from the mid-1970s through 2005 and was thought to have been drilled out. Approximately 1 year ago, 2 horizontal wells were drilled and successfully completed, and now there are 63 horizontal permits and growing in the field. The 1,979 blue dots on this slide represent the current existing vertical permits in the Cotton Valley Formation of East Texas. Petromax's 8,000-plus acres of leases are located within the yellow shaded area. This slide also shows the 6 CV horizontal wells, which have been producing a sufficient number of months so as to have production obtainable through the Texas Railroad Commission records. Also, 17 recently permitted horizontal wells are represented by the red dots. Of the wells that have verifiable production data, 3 of the 6 are located in Freestone County, drilled by Anadarko Petroleum. The 3 existing horizontal wells, the Williford A 6H, 7H, and 8H, are fortunately surrounded by older vertical wells producing from the same zone, which makes it very easy to evaluate the viability of horizontal versus vertical wells, given their close proximity to each other. The graph shown is a production graph with monthly production over time. The red lines represent the vertical wells in the immediate area, and the 3 horizontal wells are indicated in black. Each X represents 1 month's production, and all wells have been given a common starting point for ease of comparison. The analysis of this data reveals that not only have the horizontal wells initially performed better, it appears that the proportionate increase gained is being sustained. JW Operating has recently released data on their Maynard 3H horizontal well in Smith County. The Maynard number 3H has 13 months of reported production and also is surrounded by older vertical wells. Also pictured are the number 5H and number 6H wells, which have been permitted horizontally by JW Operating. The Maynard number 3H well was drilled horizontally through the Taylor section of the Cotton Valley Sandstone. The Packer Plus system was not in use, and only 2 frac jobs were performed. Once again, the offsetting vertical wells are depicted in red, with Maynard number 3H in black. It appears again that the initial benefit gained from a horizontal well bore is being sustained as the well continues to produce. The 4 vertical wells immediately surrounding the Maynard number 3H are detailed here. These 4 wells averaged an initial production rate of 817 MCF per day, with a 13-month cumulative production average of 162,032 MCF. Using a $7 flat gas price, they have averaged $1,134,229 in gross revenue for the first 13 months. The Maynard number 3H had an initial production rate of 2,224 MCF, a 13-month cumulative production of 486,812 MCF, and $3,407,712 of comparable revenue, resulting in a 300% increase. Projecting the estimated ultimate recovery of the 3H well compared to the offsetting vertical wells, you can extrapolate an additional 3 billion cubic feet of gas producing approximately $21 million of additional revenue. Remember, this well was completed without the Packer Plus system and only 2 fracs. The first horizontal Cotton Valley well completed with the Packer Plus system was completed in August of 2006. It was Devon Energy Haygood number 11H well in Panola County. The Haygood well, like the previously shown horizontal wells, was drilled in an area surrounded by older vertical wells. This chart compares the initial production of the surrounding vertical wells to the Haygood number 11 horizontal well. Initial production is approximately 7 times better horizontally. Devon has just recently filed their Texas Railroad Commission Form G5, showing an initial production test on August 31st of 06, reporting a flowing gas rate of 6,635 MCF a day and 105 barrels of oil per day on only a 12/64-inch choke. Devon has also turned into the Texas Railroad Commission August and September production figures. Devon reported gas sales of 456,593 MCF of gas and over 4,000 barrels of oil for August and September combined. We do not know the actual first day of sales, so these numbers could represent totals for anywhere from 31 to 60 days. Using a $7 gas price, the well would have generated approximately $3.8 million in less than 2 months. The recent filings also indicate the horizontal drain hole was drilled in an upper Cotton Valley stringer, not the historically more productive Taylor section. The number of operators filing horizontal drilling permits in the Cotton Valley Trend is growing each month, and it appears that this new technology will significantly impact the play and benefit those operators who have the drillable acreage to develop.